I truly believe challenges can be overcome by education, dedication, innovation, and perspiration.
Oakland County is such a great place to live because it's a wonderful community. You can definitely feel the support that people have for education in our area, that they have for professionalism, that they have for business and entrepreneurs. It's just a place where the energy is cultivated and people can grow and prosper. It's been an honor to be living in Oakland County for the majority of my life. My job as a teacher helps prepare students for this knowledge-based economy. Technology in a classroom motivates students beyond anything else that I've seen. They want to be able to utilize it and to help them get to that next level of learning. But it's just important because that is the future. In any job that they'll need to be able to use technology and create technology. I see many different career paths for students in Oakland County because there are so many opportunities and there are many different avenues for kids to explore those before they get to college so that they can really find their passion. You know, being a teacher in Oakland County is so helpful in this transition because our community really values education and has really seen the need for change and for growth. It's really exciting just to see what their future will hold, and I don't think you can get that in many other professions. My name is Melody Arabu, and I'm honored to be the 2015 Oakland County Elite 40 Under 40 winner.
Thank you. It is a true honor to represent the extraordinary 2015 class of the Elite 40 Under 40. The combined caliber of skill, passion, and professionalism in this room represents the best of Oakland County. I'd like to acknowledge my fellow finalists, Andrew Shemaluski and Luke Fleer, whose warmth and kindness match their incredible talent and dedication. In the coming year, I have the privilege to be an ambassador for the vision L. Brooks Patterson has for Oakland County. I have lived here for the majority of my life, and I have planted the roots for my family's next generation. The 22 years of Brooks's leadership and commitment to excellence make me proud to call Oakland County home. Oakland County is home to my parents, who emigrated from Iraq and worked tirelessly to move here to give their 5 kids everything this area has to offer. It is home to my 3 children, where my 8-year-old daughter and 5-year-old twin boys can appreciate safety, value diversity, and flourish in endless opportunities for their future. Oakland County is home to my husband's business, where for over 18 years, he has prospered in the heart of downtown Royal Oak. It is home to the Walled Lake School District, where I've spent the last 13 years connecting with kids and learning from education's best and most inspiring leaders. Brooks's initiatives will impact Oakland County for decades to come. It is a place that people strive to attain to fulfill their hopes and dreams. A place that has a national reputation of excellence in fiscal management. A place that offers knowledge-based careers that raise our standard of living. Oakland County is a place that embraces technology to improve transparency and provide better customer service. A place that promotes healthy and active lifestyles to improve our quality of life. Oakland County is all of this and more because of one man, a visionary of strength, growth, and innovation. A man that has developed a great place to live, work, play, and raise a family. A place we are all proud to call home. Please join me in welcoming Oakland County Executive L. Brooks Patterson.
Why don't you hold on? Please. Thank you very much. Thanks, sir. 11C. Good evening, everybody. As I made my way to the dais tonight, just then, as I sit here now, the question on many of your minds may well be, how is my recovery going? Well, it's going just fine, thank you. The good news is I don't fall down anymore. The bad news is I do perform random gravity checks. I go to physical therapy 3 days a week. Every session, my trainer wants me to warm up by touching my toes. And I tell him every day, if I'm there, if God wanted me to touch my toes, he would have put them on my knees. So, Melody, that was a great introduction. Thank you so much for your very kind words. Melody is the winner, as you just heard, of the 40 under 40 class, our fourth class of the 40 under 40 elite. Really, these are some of Oakland County's finest and most accomplished young men and women who are already making contributions to the quality of life within their communities. I'm delightful to have them join me tonight for my 2015 State of the County address. Will the 40 under 40 honorees who are here tonight from all four classes, please stand and be recognized. Please stand. Thank you. You know, 2014, it was a busy and productive year. We reached a preliminary agreement on the formation of a regional water authority after 40 years. Our finances continue to shine. And tonight you will hear about milestones we've reached in some of our marquee initiatives as we continue to set the bar high as your county government. First, tonight, let's go to the big news. Tomorrow, my staff will deliver a resolution to the Board of Commissioners asking them to reduce the county's tax rate by 0.10 mils for the July 2015 tax levy and an additional 0.05 mils for the July 2016 levy. Now, to put those reductions in dollars and cents, the taxpayers of Oakland County, that's you will save $75 million over the next 10 years. That's $75 million back into your pockets for you to use as you see fit. It will stimulate the local economy, and it will contribute to a stronger quality of life here in Oakland County. Now, how can we do this when other governments are struggling? You've heard me say it time and time again at my State of the County addresses. We exercise thoughtful management, not crisis management. Oakland County adopts the long-term view, the long-range vision, and then has the patience and the discipline to get there. Our countywide elected officials are all on board working cooperatively with us to help manage the costs. And to the county employees, thank you for your hard work, dedication, positive attitude, and sacrifices that helped us achieve our financial goals. It is the work of the entire Oakland County team that allows me tonight to announce this tax reduction. Some additional financial highlights. We are still the only AAA-rated county in America with a 3-year rolling budget, line item budget, and it incorporates as well a 5-year outlook. Right now, even factoring in the proposed millage reduction, listen to this, that I've just announced, I am pleased to tell you that our budget is balanced through the year 2020. In other words, Oakland County's budget is balanced through the year that Jeb Bush will be seeking his second term. Where else but in the United States, maybe in the world, can you find a government with a balanced budget through 2020? Our strong financial position allows me to move forward on some delayed capital improvement programs and security upgrades that we had postponed during the Great Recession. Those are expenditures which must be addressed sooner than later. And remember Oakland County's so-called legacy costs, those pesky health care and pension obligations? Well, they're completely funded. And this past spring, we completed the refinancing of our health care certificates of participation with lower interest rate bonds. The savings, $13 million annually. That's over $170 million for the 13-year life of the bonds. And after those bonds are paid off, we save $34 million a year going forward. It's simply the best of all outcomes. We save taxpayers' money, we keep the promises made to our employees in exchange for their lifetime of work, and we free up resources to meet future challenges and needs. Our employees have migrated to a defined contribution retirement plan. That's like a 401k, leaving behind the older defined benefit pension plan with lifetime health care costs. That move alone has saved my taxpayers far north of $100 million. All of these moves in disciplined, patient financial planning allows us today the ability to reduce your property taxes. And I ask all the commissioners to support my proposal, whether you're on which side of the aisle. Together we have shown that we are good stewards of the taxpayers' money. So let's demonstrate that again by reducing taxes when we can. We continue to retain our AAA bond rating. As you know, that's the highest credit score a government can get from Wall Street. And you know, as at the end, listen to this, at the end of 2014, there were only 9 countries, not counties, countries in the world that still have a AAA bond rating. That means Oakland County's credit rating is better than 186 countries in the world, including our own United States. We have been members of the exclusive AAA club since 1998, or for 17 years. Here's what Moody's Investor Services for you. Here's what Moody's Investor Services had to say about our county government when it reaffirmed our AAA bond rating last summer. Quote, "We expect the county's financial position will remain strong going forward owing to continued application of very solid fiscal management practices," end quote. In other words, Moody's thinks we're doing it right. Of course, none of these fiscal achievements are possible without having the best of the best leading by Department of Management and Budget. When I asked my finance staff last month for contributions to this State of the County address, Finance Director Lori Van Pelt and Deputy County Executive Bob Datto said they have nothing to contribute this year. No major bond issues to be announced, no additional budget tasks to be parceled out among the countywide officials, no major restructurings to announce. Nada, zilch, nothing. Well, except for the tax cut I mentioned just a moment ago. That's not a reflection of them resting on their laurels. Rather, they have become so good at what they do that Oakland County is positioned to be in great financial shape for years to come. And I think Bob and Lori would be the first to admit it's more than just them. It's their team. It's also our budget task force that I created back in 2002, consisting of my 5 deputies plus Lori and our human resource director. On a nearly weekly basis since 2002, they have met to ensure that we are being strict stewards of your tax dollars. Budget control also relied upon the cooperation of our other countywide elected officials. Of course, I'm referring to Sheriff Mike Bouchard, Prosecutor Jessica Cooper, Chief Clerk Register of Deeds Lisa Brown, Water Resource Commissioner Jim Nash, Treasurer Andy Meisner, the Board of Commissioners, the Chairman Mike Gingell, and the Vice Chairman Jeff Mattis, along with the other 19 county commissioners, and the Chief Judges, Nancy Grant, Elizabeth Pizzetti, and Julie Nicholson. I'm grateful for all you do to make Oakland County the best managed county in the nation. This past April, a key member of our budget team retired, Fiscal Services Manager Tim Sove. He had been with the county since 1979. Under his leadership, Fiscal Services had garnered quite a string of awards from the Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada. 17 straight years winning the popular annual financial report, 23 straight years winning the comprehensive annual financial report, and winning the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award since 1984. So well done, Tim. We will certainly miss your financial acumen around the country. Luckily, we did not have to go far to find someone who is very capable to lead Fiscal Services Division in the future. We promoted Lynn Sonkis to replace Tim. She was one of our 4 division chiefs. In particular, she was responsible for financial planning and budgeting and grants and accounting. She is in her 24th year with the county and holds a degree in accountancy from Walsh College. And the Department of Information Technology, CIO Phil Bertolini, Director Ed Poisson, and Chief Technology Officer Jim Taylor have had a big year expanding Oakland County's IT department into a leadership role in Michigan while also helping governments across the nation. For example, at last year's State of the County, I announced the launch of the G2G, or the Government to Government Marketplace. The G2G Marketplace is a catalog of best practice. It's a best practice repository, service bureau, and for governments of all sizes. The goal of the G2G Marketplace is to provide governments with an easy-to-use, cost-effective way to shop for and purchase the proper government technology services under pre-negotiated blanket purchase agreements and contracts. Now, some would ask, why would Oakland County provide such a service outside of our borders? And the answer is simple. Oakland County gets a discount on pricing for our contracts, as well as a value added every time a government agency purchases off these contracts. Oakland County is simply providing a low-cost option for purchasing technology, which otherwise might not be affordable for many. Our first half of the year has been very successful since we launched G2G. Local governments from 44 states have registered for the G2G Marketplace. Our total number of local governments registered so far is 180, with 87 of them right here in Michigan. It is a win-win project that works for everyone, and Oakland County is once again recognized as a leader. Debuting in the G2G Marketplace on the day of its launch was our SciSafe product. Now, SciSafe stands for Cybersecurity Assessment for Everyone. Remember Sony pictures and the hacking troubles caused by North Korea? It showed really how vulnerable we really are. Well, SciSafe was developed in collaboration with the State of Michigan's Department of Technology and Management and the counties of Oakland, Livingston, Monroe, Washtenaw, and Wayne. SciSafe is our attempt to put an iron gate around the information you want to keep secure. SciSafe helps government agencies determine how susceptible they are to hackers and intruders, identify the weak points, and prioritize solutions available in the G2G Marketplace, while also identifying resources in the world of cybersecurity. Any government agency can download SciSafe for free from our G2G Marketplace. So far, 180 governments nationwide have downloaded SciSafe so they can join the fight against this growing menace. Oakland County believes governments should not be the only ones with access to best technology to optimize cybersecurity, so that's why we're making SciSafe available to a broader group of users. Tonight, we are launching SciSafe initiative for our small and medium-sized businesses, and will be available at no cost on our economic development website, advantageoakland.com. We will soon have a home version available later this spring. Speaking of Macomb County, I believe my friend, County Executive Mark Hackle, is here in the audience tonight. I saw him. And what can I say about Mark? No, really, what can I say about Mark? Actually, in his State of the County speech in December, Mark remembers that he poked fun at me about my age. Well, welcome to Oakland County, Mark, where I now have the microphone. You all know Mark. He walks around Macomb County all day with a turkey under his arm just for spare parts. Tonight, Mark was in the lobby before my speech began, and the strange noises were making him nervous. Mark, that strange noise you heard was indoor plumbing. I'd also like to recognize my other colleagues with us in the audience tonight. Joining us for the first time is Wayne County's new executive, Warren Evans. Warren. I've known Warren for many years. In fact, when I was a little boy, I remember telling my father that I wanted to grow up to be just like Mr. Evans. Warren, that's what this is all about. You got to get used to it. Warren has a challenge ahead of him to right Wayne County's listing ship. But I am confident he has the integrity and the wherewithal to make the tough challenges to get the job done. So thank you for coming tonight, Warren. Appreciate it. Also joining us is my longtime friend, Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan. Michael. Detroit has shed significant debt, is seeing investment exploding in downtown, is working hard to improve public transit, is building a new hockey arena, and undoubtedly is working overtime to attract the Detroit Pistons. There is a huge potential for the city's future, and I can think of no one stronger than Mike Duggan to rebuild Detroit's fortunes. I think it's important for the public to see the relationship between the four of us as regional leaders. Yes, we're competitors, and yes, we can even be fierce rivals. And yes, we are friends who can even joke around with each other. We respect each other's opinion and each other's point of view and can work together on important initiatives to get the job done. So please give my colleagues a round of applause. Perhaps as a group, the Big Four has accomplished nothing more impactful for our region than the formation of the Great Lakes Water Authority framework. That's the operative word. I sent in my best negotiators, Chief Deputy County Exec Jerry Poisson and Deputy County Exec Bob Dado. They spent tireless hours climbing the Everest of all negotiations. Remember my marching orders to them last year? Quote, "No deal is better than a bad deal." Well, Jerry and Bob and the team from the Water Resources Commissioner Jim Nash's office came through for our ratepayers. Under the guidance of U.S. District Court Judge Sean Cox, mediation, and with the assistance of the Governor Rick Snyder's executive staff, they helped craft an agreement that is in the best interest of all the Water and Sewer Authority customers and ratepayers. I can truly say we have established the basis for a good deal. But the hard work of turning the framework agreement into a functioning reality is what today's efforts are targeted at. Now here's a quick recap. The agreement calls for the Great Lakes Water Authority to lease, operate, and manage all wholesale water and sewer lines serving the suburbs that are currently part of the Detroit Water and Sewer Department. The new authority is also to lease and operate all of what is known as the common to all assets, which includes the filtration and water plants, pumping stations, and other facilities, equipment providing the joint functions for the benefit of all the ratepayers. The city of Detroit is to become a wholesale customer of the authority, just like the suburban customers already are. The city will continue to manage and operate its retail system, which includes nearly 6,000 miles of water and sewer lines within the city limits. The city will be responsible for collections from its own ratepayers. Any delinquencies and uncollectible debts from Detroit's local operations will continue to be the city's responsibility to fund, not the suburban communities who are responsible for the uncollected debts of their own. At no time will the city's bad debts become the responsibility of the new authority, and at no time will the uncollectible debts and delinquencies of the suburban customers become the responsibility of the city. That makes sense. The authority will not be funded by Oakland County General Fund tax dollars. Instead, the authority operations will be funded solely by water and sewer ratepayers. The authority will be governed by a 6-member board, 2 appointed by the city and 4 by the suburban leaders. Each board member must have at least 7 years of experience in a regulated industry or in finance, accounting, law, or engineering. For Oakland County, I appointed Deputy County Executive Bob Dado, who is a CPA and a recognized expert with over 40 years of experience in municipal accounting to represent our interests on that board. Major decisions by the board require a supermajority vote of 5 out of 6 members. These decisions include the establishment of the annual budget, the adoption of the capital improvement plan, issuing debt, setting rates, appointing the executive director, establishing purchasing policies, and most importantly, perhaps, approving the final lease between the city and the authority presently being negotiated. That means if there is one major issue before the authority that we believe is unfair to suburban customers, Oakland County only needs to partner with one other to either amend it or block it. Now, let's talk about the required lease. The deal agreed to by the mayor and the city council and the 3 county executives and the respective boards of commissioners is set out in a memorandum of understanding and articles of incorporation. Now, both of those documents are on our website. These documents provide that in exchange for the lease of the wholesale and common to all Detroit Water and Sewer Department assets, the authority will make a lease payment of $50 million a year to the city of Detroit. The money will be set aside in a separate fund held by the authority and may only be used for the purpose of replacing, maintaining, and repairing the aging water and sewer pipes in the city. These funds cannot be diverted outside of the water and sewer system for use in any other city department. Last fall, when the regional leaders agreed to a memorandum of understanding, the city's bankruptcy process imposed significant time pressures to act. The federal mediation process encouraged the mayor and the city council to agree to a memorandum of understanding and to have the city council and the boards of commissioners act to establish an authority at that time. Well, this was done, or this was asked, so that the agreement could become part of the city's plan of adjustment in bankruptcy. But the significant barriers stood in the way of a final deal. Timely, accurate, and audited financial statements for the city and the Detroit Water and Sewer Department for fiscal year 2014 were not available. Updated, accurate pension actuarial reports for 2014 for the city and DWSD also were not available, and they could not be provided in time to satisfy the bankruptcy calendar. And as a footnote, they are still not available today. Despite these barriers, the regional leadership agreed that it was important to keep the process advancing. We determined that we could keep the process moving forward while still protecting our ratepayers. We did this by crafting an agreement with important safeguards called conditions precedent to any transfer of operations. One major protection in the adopted Memorandum of Understanding expressly provides that no lease shall be entered into if the payment in consideration of the lease, that's the $50 million payment, would cause the systems to be unable to provide a reasonable level of service, satisfy its debt obligations, and adhere to the rate structure set forth by the city's bankruptcy plan of adjustment. In addition, the new lease payment, the MOU, and the bankruptcy plan of adjustment impose additional cash flow requirements. These requirements place added fiscal pressures on the Detroit Water and Sewer Department and later upon us and the authority. These include a new $4.5 million set aside for water residential assistance program for those residential customers throughout the whole system struggling to pay their water and sewer bills. A new court-imposed pension acceleration payment of $22 million annually through 2023. A court-ordered payment of at least $20 million as a share of the bankruptcy expenses incurred by the city and charged to the DWSD as a city department. Now, ladies and gentlemen, why have I taken so much time to go into this much detail? It's because I want everybody to understand that's where we are today. The reality is this. At the end of the mandatory negotiations in the chambers of Federal Judge Sean Cox, we all left buoyed by what we had accomplished. But we all knew then, and we've expressed it many times since, the devil is in the details. When you hear that GLWA, G-L-W-A, the Great Lakes Water Authority, is developing just fine, and everybody is on board, and it's kumbaya, I guess I'm here tonight to say, slow down. The Great Lakes Water Authority is hardly Camelot. The authority is not a completed deal yet. If certain conditions precedent cannot be achieved, the authority will terminate by its own express provisions. Going forward, this means that no lease will be entered into unless it can first be reliably demonstrated that the new $50 million lease payment and the $4.5 million residential assistance program, the $20 million plus share of the city's bankruptcy fees, and the new bankruptcy imposed $22 million annual accelerated pension payment can all be made from the system's revenues. These revenues will be capped at a 4% growth rate for the first 10 years of operation. Unfortunately, today the water revenues and thus the cash flowing into the DWSD are not meeting either budgetary expectations or those projections that were set before us when we were signing the MOU. The volume flows, that is, the units billed against which rates are applied to the producing of revenue, they have been falling off for years. Said differently, the previous expectation of the water revenues improving and providing resources sufficient to help make the new payments within the capped revenue requirement seems less likely to be met today than when the MOU was signed this past September. In order to compensate for the significant revenue loss associated with continuing volume declines, and as noted in a recent SEMCOG rate meeting, the DWSD, that's the Detroit Water and Sewer Department, is prepared to raise the water rates used to produce the required revenue. There are other major water and sewer initiatives on the way, but likely none are as important as assessing the feasibility of the financial condition of the Detroit Water and Sewer Department. And unfortunately, June 30, 2014, the audited financial information remains elusive. The city is still closing its books, and without the information, the transition team cannot finish its work in assessing the financial condition of the Detroit Water and Sewer Department towards preparation of a lease that we all can agree to. If this sounds complicated, it is. But under this section of my speech tonight, I wanted to note that I still believe the launch of an effective authority remains an obtainable goal, but we are not there yet. And we all need to understand that there are enough challenges and surprises along the way that a fully functioning Great Lakes Water Authority may yet be beyond the reach of we mere mortals. One last point. A couple of weeks ago, the so-called Big Four, we met on the floor of the auto show as guests of the Detroit Economic Club. The last question dealt with the Great Lakes Water Authority, and I attempted to respond, as I did tonight, with sufficient detail to indicate why we still have some reservations. All hell broke loose in the media afterwards, suggesting that I was attacking Mayor Duggan. Well, ladies and gentlemen, nothing could be further from the truth. Mike has been a staunch partner in the development of this Great Lakes Water Authority. I'm sure he, too, is challenged by the mismanagement of the old Detroit Water and Sewer Department. To make sure the record is clear, I was not firing a shot over Mayor Duggan's bow. I'm glad to have him on board as a partner. Now, Mike, have I cleared the air? Good. Good. Now get your goddamn SWAT team out of my garage. Did you know that in the year 2000, Oakland County's overall African-American infant mortality rate of 25.2 per 1,000 live births put us behind countries such as Indonesia, Kazakhstan, and even North Korea? Now that statistic, we all would agree, is unacceptable. In fact, it's obscene. Back then, I remember directing my health department to commit the resources, time, the staff, in a pilot program to reduce infant mortality in the African-American community in Oakland County. Today, the results are very rewarding, but still there's room for improvement. The African-American infant mortality rate for the last 3 years has been cut by more than half to 10.4 per 1,000 live births. My health department's success in reducing infant mortality rates in the African-American community did not go unnoticed. It received statewide recognition. The Michigan Public Health Association bestowed its 2014 Public Health Community Achievement Award upon the county's health division for this initiative. So good work, George Miller and Kathy Forsley. Now I would like to update you on some major initiatives that we are reaching this year on key economic development programs. First, let me update you on a novel economic development approach that we announced 2 years ago. Back in 2013, we launched One Stop Ready, a program that shares and teaches the best practices and ideas and a proactive economic development. By focusing on when a company needs to open up and how government can, at all levels, can assist a company timely entrance into the market, will result in companies hiring faster, investing quicker, and impacting our economy sooner. Time is money, and the communities like Troy, who have reduced permitting time from weeks to days, the results are rolling in. One Stop Ready is only as strong as our local government partners, and by the end of this year, we'll have 21 of our cities and townships operating as One Stop Ready practitioners. Developers throughout the county say they're already noticing the difference. These tools have helped bring to Oakland County global companies like GKN in Auburn Hills, or a new recycling center in Pontiac, the new MJR Theater in Troy, and many more. One Stop Ready is a game changer. So good work, Matt Gibb, Irene Spanos, and Dan Hunter. Oakland County continues to see more and more signs that our economy is strengthening. Our equalization manager, Dave Heber, says that home mortgage foreclosures, once fluttering above 9,000 per year, are down to levels below the 2,000 mark. Last year, there were about 1,900 foreclosures. Using 2002 and 2014 as bookends, Oakland County saw more than 61,000 home foreclosures. Oakland County is no stranger to helping those who are in distress. Through the work of our community home improvement team led by Carrie Reith in 2014, we successfully counseled and assisted more than 460 homeowners through this perilous process, helping them keep their home and their pride. Since the 2009 economic collapse, when Oakland County lost more than 60,000 jobs in that 1 year, our business community has pulled together and has added a net total of nearly 80,000 new jobs into our economy, thus lowering our unemployment rate from 13% during the depths of the Great Recession to 5.5% as we ended 2014. Yeah, we've got a report at the office that basically says when you reach 5% unemployment, that's considered full employment, so we're getting very close. Jobs are created by investment and growth, and Oakland County has seen plenty of both. The Oakland County One-Stop Shop Business Center witnessed small business loans triple from $7 million in 2012 to $22 million in 2013. The past 2 years, this active center, led by Greg Doyle, has found access to capital exceeding $52 million, creating hundreds of jobs, and enabling nearly $30 million of loans for small and second-stage companies. And we're still reaching some milestones as we work to attract companies in the knowledge-based economy here in Oakland County. Back in 2004, we launched Emerging Sectors. Now, that's our signature program to attract high-paying jobs that are sustainable for decades to come. We discovered in the process, while we were looking at emerging sectors, the top 10 sectors for future growth in Oakland County are all part of this knowledge-based economy: healthcare, IT, finance, nanotechnology. That's just naming a few. Well, I'm proud to say that we are on the cusp of reaching the $3 billion investment mark with our emerging sectors categories. That's $3 billion, that's with a B. Well over 310 companies from within these emerging sectors, these 10 sectors, are now helping us toward our goal of diversifying the economy while creating or retaining more than 50,000 jobs since inception. I really think that's a game changer, folks, that emerging sectors, and we're really pressing that one. One of our greatest strengths is our global presence. Some of these stats may amaze you. Oakland County is home to 57% of the global Fortune 500 and now hosts more than 1,020 foreign-owned multinational companies from 38 different countries around the world. This accomplishment prompted Deputy Director Aaron Buckmeyer from the Select USA at the U.S. Department of Commerce to remark, quote, "Oakland County has one of the best economic development teams in the country," period, end quote. I would agree. The excellent team will be an important part of the Select USA Summit in Washington later this spring. Healthcare continues to be one of our most robust sectors. And Medical Main Street, which we kicked off back in 2008, is about to reach a $1 billion investment mark. Nearly 50 companies have invested $1 billion to create or retain 8,000 jobs in this burgeoning sector. Last year at this time, I announced an initiative that would build on our strength as a technology leader. That initiative, called Tech 248, is a branding and business development program aimed at harvesting the power of over 2,000 tech companies in the county and market our county as a global technology hub. The estimated expansion of this sector projects that Oakland County will add a new technology company every 30 days. And we want to continue the upward trend, and Tech 248 will be the point of the spear leading our global marketing endeavors. Tech 248 will work with our existing companies, our colleges and universities to open up the paths to the most needed advanced tech jobs. We learned the skill sets needed for these jobs when we conducted our first skills needs assessment back in 2009. Our partners in workforce development, such as Oakland Community College and its Chancellor Timothy Meyer, have already created the programs from that assessment to help train tomorrow's workforce. And by the way, Tim, I know you're here. Congratulations on your 50th anniversary as a school in our community, OCC. A year ago, I announced the creation of our Connected Vehicle Task Force to implement a plan to make Oakland County the first American county with a county-wide connected vehicle ecosystem. The task force is chaired by my good friend Fred Nader, founder and president of Autotech Technology Development. And rounding out the committee is Elena Farnsworth, CEO of a mobile company, and Paul Halterman, Vice President and Managing Director of IHS Automotive Advisory Services. Now, Gregory Kruger of Lados and several leading companies are here, such as here, that's the name of the company, HERE, Arata, PackGrid, and others are also participating in this task force. What they've accomplished in just 1 year is nothing short of incredible. The task force's primary mission is to prove there is a viable business model for implementing connected vehicle technology and infrastructure, and how the private sector can manage the costs and the maintenance of the technology being developed for tomorrow's automobile. The task force joined forces with the U.S. Department of Transportation as an integral member of the affiliated test bed in Detroit. And in September, at the Intelligent Transport Systems, or ITS World Congress in Detroit, the task force demonstrated how RSU technology can be used to determine a vehicle's location and completed real-time demonstrations of a vehicle's position to within a matter of inches. Now, this was something that had never been done before, and it was the first step in building the business case of a countywide connected vehicle ecosystem. The year ahead is full of promise, too. Much of the global research in connected and autonomous vehicles is happening right here in Oakland County. And this task force, and through the task force, the county will position itself as one of the leaders in converting research into reality. While we're on the subject of high tech, this is a perfect segue to news about Automation Alley. A huge change has occurred at Automation Alley. My good friend and reliable deputy, Ken Rogers, has retired from the county to take a job full-time with Automation Alley, the organization that he helped nurture from day one. Ken's the last day as my deputy county executive was December 31st, 2014. He's been with me since the beginning of my administration, that's January 1st, 1993, or 22 years of public service for those who are counting. He is continuing in his role as executive director of Automation Alley, but this time from the private sector side. When I first met Ken back in 1975, he ran a real estate firm in the Clarkson area and wanted to support my reelection as county prosecutor. That was the beginning of a friendship that has grown into one of the closest relationships. After my successful election in 1992, I brought him on board as my Director of Economic Development, and a couple of years later, I asked him to become my deputy. But it's nothing has defined Ken's service to my administration, indeed to our region, more than his years at Automation Alley. When we launched the Automation Alley together in 1999, my directions were clear. Build Automation Alley into one of the top independent regional hubs for economic development. 15 years later, Ken has exceeded my expectations. Is that me? I told you not to call me here. Oh boy, can you believe that? Okay, who planted that phone in my pocket? As of January 1st of this year, Automation Alley is completely independent from Oakland County and nationally recognized as a leading technology hub. My friend in Macomb County, Mark Hackle, will be pleased to hear that Automation Alley continues to grow in the defense and manufacturing, one of Macomb's largest sectors. Automation Alley has just signed a $10 million contract with the U.S. Army to provide engineering and data services out of our office in Macomb. And back here in Oakland County, Automation Alley opened a facility on the campus of Oakland University. That was last year. It's called the Automation Alley Technology Center. The center will feature new leading-edge technologies to benefit the local tech community. Right now, it is focusing on the process of product life cycle management, offering classes and hands-on training in the use of product life cycle management equipment such as 3D printers and scanners. Automation Alley has had a notable year. By the end of 2014, Automation Alley had reached the $500 million mark in export sales since we started it 15 years ago. Just this past December, it completed its 23rd trade mission. Its trade missions last year included one to Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, the United Kingdom, and Mexico. These missions focused on advanced automotive, medical devices, and environmental technology. Currently, there are companies from Japan, Germany, and France, all working out of Automation Alley headquarters until they can find a permanent location here. Automation Alley has seeded 38 companies with more than $8.5 million, resulted in an additional $113 million in funding. And Automation Alley's activities have helped create almost 5,700 jobs. Though Ken has left my administration, our regional leaders can be assured that Automation Alley will continue to serve our growth in the high-tech sector under the very deft stewardship of Ken Rogers. Let's give Ken a round of applause. You know, I've got a very good team, and they hover over me on this day in particular. They put this head mic on, and they make everything except turn off my phone. I can't believe that. Don't show up for work tomorrow, you guys. Replacing Ken as my new deputy is Malcolm Brown, whose first day on the job was December 29th. Malcolm represented Oakland County in labor and employment matters for more than the last 25 years as a shareholder at the law firm of Butzel Long. He has substantial experience in handling labor and employment issues. His expertise includes collective bargaining in the public and private sectors, Act 312 arbitrations, fact-finding, and civil rights and employment issues, among others. In his new role, Malcolm will be overseeing the departments of Corporation Counsel, our human resource, which is personnel, and risk management. Over the years, you know I have bragged about my team. Any success that I have enjoyed as county exec goes to the fact that I can recognize and recruit talented people. Malcolm Brown fits this paradigm very comfortably. He's an outstanding addition to our team. Welcome, Malcolm Brown. Tonight, we also send our best wishes to Nancy Scarlett. Nancy retired the same day as Ken Rogers after 10 years as my Director of Human Resources. When she began her career with the county in 1987 as a Personnel Technician 1, perhaps she never envisioned working her way to the top of this very critical department. But I can tell you this, as county executive, in Nancy, I found one of the most capable team members. During her tenure as director, we transitioned from traditional retiree health care to health savings accounts, which saves the county millions of dollars. We fully funded those individuals who are still left behind on the traditional retiree health care, and we launched our employee wellness program called OakFit. A quick word about OakFit, because I think it's one of the hallmark accomplishments during Nancy's tenure. As with everybody in this room, and those in the private sector, the county's self-insured health care costs were skyrocketing back in 2006 and 7. It was hard for us to manage a budget if you have such wild fluctuations in a major part of your budget, such as health care for your employees. But because of the good work of Nancy Scarlett and her OakFit wellness coordinator, Dawn Hunt, health care became a managed expense for Oakland County. Health care costs were contained, and our employees are on a road to better health. It's all about quality of life. So thank you, Nancy. Your legacy. Your legacy of strong and innovative leadership is guaranteed. Speaking of saving taxpayers' dollars, back in 2011, I introduced you to our facilities management department and their yeoman's work they do to reduce energy consumption in our buildings, which in turn produce significant savings in our utility bills. A 10% reduction in utility costs was accomplished by adopting energy-efficient policies in the county and installing energy-saving devices. That year, 2011, I pledged to reach the 15% reduction mark by 2015. Well, guess what? It's 2015. I've checked in with Art Holdsworth, my Director of Facilities Management, and Bob Larkin, the Manager of the Facilities Maintenance and Operations Division, and they have some good news to share. Not only did we meet our pledge to reduce energy consumption on our government campus 15% by this year, we actually exceeded our goal, reaching a savings of 15.6%. Translate that into dollars saved, $4,711,000 annual savings. And we'll certainly reach $5 million by the end of this fiscal year. One of the items that should put us over the top in cost savings is a project that is underway. The replacement of 600 high illumination lights in our parking lots at most of our buildings with more than energy efficient lighting. LED lights will supplant our current high-pressure sodium lights, generating significant savings over time. Did you know that veterans make up less than 8% of the population, but represent 16% of the homeless adults? Think about that as I tell you about the 100-day challenge. On November the 19th, our Veteran Services Division, led by Public Services Director Mark Newman and Veteran Services Manager Garth Wooten, they accepted the 100-day challenge to stamp out veterans' homelessness. Veteran Services partnered with the county's health division's Homeless Healthcare Collaborative, the Detroit VA Healthcare System, Michigan Works, Treatment and Training Innovations, Oakland Livingston Human Services Agency, and the Community Housing Network. All came together to eliminate veteran homelessness in Oakland County by March 1. As with everything they do, Garth's staff has done an outstanding job by already housing 70 veterans during the challenge so far. And we owe a debt of gratitude to these guys and gals. We call them our veterans. I'm counting on all of you to join our efforts to ensure every veteran in Oakland County has a place to call home before the March 1st, 2015 deadline. If you know of a veteran who is homeless or at risk of homelessness, contact one of our Veterans Benefits counselors, or just go to oakgov.com/veterans, or call me, and I'll put you in touch with the office. Every year we are proud of the awards and accolades Oakland County receives on both the state and the national level. They recognize my team for excellence in government. I've already told you about a couple already tonight, so I've picked up a couple more to close out my remarks. The rest of the awards that we received throughout 2014, 5 pages of them, will be running on the screen here behind me, too numerous to mention. Government Technology Magazine and the Center for Digital Government declared that Oakland County has the best county government website in the United States. The Center for Digital Government also declared once again that we are among the most digitally advanced counties in the nation. Government Technology Magazine wrote that our website is the best of the web because our unique approach to mobility, attractive and simple interface, and the black and white cost savings that it enables. We are a leader in using technology to improve services while reducing costs. So kudos to our IT department led by my deputy and CIO, Phil Berlidi, and Director Ed Poisson. I'm smiling. I'm smiling because I know where we were when I first came into office in 1993. When I got here, there was no IT department as such. Only 200 dead terminals spread throughout the county, no network, certainly no connection to the internet. Basically, we were at ground zero, in some cases still using 3x5 cards to maintain records. So when you end up 22 years later designated as the best county government website in the United States, you gotta smile. Next, Oakland County's purchasing unit has been ranked the best in Michigan. Now that may not sound like much of an accomplishment to some, but I've watched and learned over the years that purchasing is the soft underbelly of government, where funds are first being introduced into the system. That's most likely the portal of perfidy, kickbacks and embezzlement. Portal of perfidy, you like that? I got to confess, I'm sort of a wordsmith, and I was sitting in a restaurant in Washington, D.C., recently. I think it was called the Iron Gate Restaurant. I was doodling on a napkin, and I had this, well, be honest about it, this flash of genius. And portal of perfidy. Anyway, I digress. The Michigan Public Purchasing Officers Association presented its Agency of the Year award to the county at its annual awards banquet last year. This award recognizes Oakland County for its innovations in public purchasing. With Director Lori Van Pelt and our Compliance Officer Pam Weipert and Purchasing Manager Scott Guzzi at the helm, our purchasing staff is made up of individuals of the highest caliber. This award reflects the excellence they bring to their job every day. They ensure that every dollar that county spends is transparent, accountable, and conforms to county policy as well as state law. Some of Oakland County's purchasing innovations include the cooperative contracts. Such contracts provide smaller local units of government with access to goods and services at a much lower cost than they might otherwise able to achieve. Cooperative contracts also provide vendors with additional business because other communities are buying in. Purchasing currently has 35 cooperative contracts available to any government entity in the cloud at G2G Marketplace. Other innovations include posting of all county contracts and charge orders online in the interest of transparency. Now, some governments, like in Washington, D.C., talk transparency. We live it. Finally, a little recognition for Oakland County International Airport and its staff. 2 facts about our airport there in Waterford. One, it's the second busiest airport in Michigan, second only to Detroit Metropolitan Airport. And we used to outrank Detroit Metro, then they became a hub, so it jumped way over us. 2, since the county took over the airport operations in 1968, the airport has never closed its doors or its runways due to snow, including this past weekend. This is a really an incredible feat. At Oakland County International Airport has received 4 awards for its snow removal efforts in the past decade from the American Association of Airport Executives. So that's thanks to the dedication of our airport maintenance mechanic supervised by the recently retired Matt Treyas, our aviation manager Carl Rando, and Central Service Director Dave Vanderheen. Now Gordon Marshall has since replaced Matt, and Gordon, you got some big shoes to fill. When you leave tonight, I hope you walk out with the feeling that you're living in a well-managed county and that the dollars you pay in form of taxes are carefully invested and scrupulously monitored throughout the year. Again, I'd be less than honest if I didn't give credit where credit is due and to test my great staff that you see here on the screen behind me. I'm asked from time to time what my intentions are for next year when 2016 rolls around, and I'm facing the decision of whether to run again for a 7th term. Well, I gotta be honest. In thinking about retirement, I recently looked at my 401k and my deferred comp, and I thought to myself, hell, I could live pretty good on this. Then I'm not sure what I do the second week. I think you all know that if I choose to run again, and I wouldn't bet against it, it's not the money that would draw me back for a 7th and final term. It's the fact that I've thoroughly enjoyed every day I've worked in Oakland County, such as first as Oakland County prosecuting attorney, and now as county exec. And when I'm out in the public, I really can sense and feel a strong bond that's developed between me and the people I serve. I think they know and appreciate I've given it my best shot. So I guess what I'm trying to tell you is that if you think you are attending your second to the last State of the County address, you better think again. Don't worry. Can we do that again, Pam? Don't worry about that noise, folks. That was Sheriff Bouchard jumping. Listen, you guys are great. Thank you for coming tonight. Thank you.